Yo, yo, Tony D here with a disturbing review of Ruins, written by Warren Ellis. The art was done by more than one artist. I believe it was Terese Nielsen and her husband Cliff Nielsen, and Chris Moeller took over for the last 17 pages of issue 2. The series was actually conceived by Ellis as a parody of the Marvel series that Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross did, and it's set in a dystopian version of the Marvel Universe, like Marvel's. And the comic features a character, Phil Sheldon, as the main character, and it was published in a prestige format with fully painted artwork and acetate covers. And this was a ride, people. I don't know how I got turned on to this. It may have been a Warren Ellis rabbit hole that I got into, but the disturbing nature of this was just, it was incredible. Like, it's been a while since I've read something where I literally had to think about it afterwards, just how horrific it was. And the artwork is very surreal and matches the tone of the whole book. So what we're getting into is there's a thing called Finagle's Law where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's what happens here. A lot of people know that from Murphy's Law, but I believe it's Finagle's Law is like a piece of it. But, you know, that's the research rabbit hole you get into sometimes. So Phil Sheldon he's trying to make sense of all this, and he has a feeling. So this Earth designation is 9591, so it has its place in the Marvel multiverse. And let's get into it, and you'll see the disturbing nature. The artwork is really good. Yeah, Cliff Nielsen and Terese Nielsen. It's very, the word I'm thinking of, it's very poetic artwork where it matches that well. And you start off just with this like explosion. It's like a Quinjet. So right from the get-go, you have Phil Sheldon looking up in the sky where you typically do with superheroes, you know, hey, look up in the sky, you know, it's always something good. But this book is like, it is very dark. And if you're not in the dark books, you will not enjoy this read, or maybe you would. So we have our character trying to make sense of this world, and you get this sense of he knows more than what, like, that's on the surface. It's an existential journey where he's just not documenting tragedy. He's trying to make sense of it. And it really brings you in and makes you a part of that, because I found myself as well trying to make sense of it. So we get these, like, each character, you get snippets of what went wrong instead of what went right, like Tony Stark here. And it's a very nihilistic future. It's dystopian where politics are intermingled into this, where Professor X is actually the president. So, I mean, think about what could go wrong with that, where you have a mutant in the White House, and we'll get to that. That's in the book. But it goes like just the alternating from just this intro to him running into different characters and, you know, what went wrong. It's like, it flows extremely well. There's no hard introductions or, you know, going from this or that. It's a very fluid Warren Ellis tale. So he goes in this bar. Actually, this one's pretty good, where here's where you find out what happens to Daredevil. He just dies from the radioactive chemicals. And he goes into a bar, and it's like he runs into Wolverine here, who the adamantium is like poisoning him, where it's just killing him. And the whole time I'm reading this, it's like there's a thin line between miracle and catastrophe. And this is what happens when the universe chooses the latter, and it's really like a universal type, um, I guess, feel to it. Like, the universe is the yin and the yang. We can get into all that, but you keep asking yourself this stuff, like, not every story has a happy ending. It's kind of a platitude in itself. So we get to, yeah, I mean, and you get where it's like rapid fire, um, like Cliff Barton, boom, Wanda Maximoff, you know, she's turning state's evidence. Like, there's a lot of political stuff, but gosh, it's so dark. And the artwork matches the tone. So there's a lot of nuclear stuff here. And like when I got to this part, he is going to an internment camp for the Cree. I believe it's the Cree. So you are rooted in his journey to try to understand what's going on. And the further you get, the more you see that it's like, it's a curse. Like, this is a great example where, um, I believe it's Marvell is telling him, like, we were going to invade Earth, and they run into the Silver Surfer, who goes mad, and I believe he was wanting to breathe. So being a cosmic being, he can't breathe, and I think he just went insane with wanting to breathe and tore himself open. Like, it's like he's suffocating. It's so horrific to even think about that. And the radiation, the cosmic, I mean, it's a cosmic mess right there. And it drops their shield where they're just attacked by the United States, which gives them cancer. Like, there's a lot of cancer going on, and disease. And it's just the whole, like, going from one thing to another, like I was talking about earlier, it's like it's done here where, okay, there's a lot of domino effect going on. Silver Surfer doing that. I still can't get over that. Like, wanting to breathe and just ripping yourself open, like going mad, insane from it. So the minute you see that, you're like, all right, Professor X. So there's nothing, as far as story going, I mean, Warren pretty much had an easy job. It's just, it's write everything that could go wrong, and it did go wrong. And there's nothing real profound, I'm going to say, in it. It's, when you're reading that's what it is. I mean, it is what it is. It's unapologetic, and it's just so brutal. It's so quiet in the delivery. It's really creepy, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. It's not like you're shocked when you're reading it, or when I was reading it, it wasn't like I was shocked. It was just, wow. It was just a realization that, yeah, it could go that way. So he runs into Nick Fury, who, he's pretty mad himself, like mad as in, just out of it. He's like, you're asking too many questions. And so you're getting the political side of it, where I don't know if he's in S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think he is, but he's really matter of factly, like, it's almost like Fury is kind of in on it too, like in on the feeling that it shouldn't be like this, but it is. And you run into Jean Grey, who is like a streetwalker, and there you go, just another smooth transition from kind of like the Silver Surfer to the Kree. You've got Fury here, and then Jean Grey comes out of nowhere, and Yeah, Fury just, I mean, it's cold. And he tells Sheldon, like, you have to be a mutant to survive what's coming, which I believe that's, Professor X being the president. And so Fury does have some more information than what we really know. And yeah, he just does that. I mean, look at the artwork. It is just, this painting is so surreal. It matches the the fever pitch of a story that that you're getting. It's a good matchup. Sometimes I wonder, how do they have like meetings where they're like, okay, we're going to pair you up with this person or that person, because this is such a perfect style for this delivery. It's got to be more than happenstance when they're picking artists. But yeah, you get a story of Galactus. I mean, even on a galactic level, things are just, everything's going wrong. Yeah, and the Enchantress, you're getting, headlines. You don't need to see in detail everyone, but they do a great job with giving you a little snippet, even in newspaper articles. And this one, it's really dark. See the use of the color where you go pretty much black and white. Look at the heavy use of color. And one thing I did notice while reading this, like the color kind of matches the hero in a way, or like Jean Grey, the Phoenix. You get a lot of Phoenix colors. Is there any other of those? It's a great use of color. And of course, like, very dark right there. And the paneling, like just the close up, like boom, boom, and then just that. Oh, great artwork. So we go to, this is our guy right here, Rick Jones. And he's a drug addict. And he's hooking up with Sheldon. I don't know if he made like an appointment or, it really doesn't matter. But he, I mean, you could say he's interviewing, but it's not really interviewing. It's more of a searching. Yeah, and he's taking morphine and he has pain and he tells you why. He starts talking of, and see how the colors, it's like a little bit brighter, but they never go so bright where it's like happy go lucky. There's always this thin line of on the colors that it could just go dark at any moment, if that makes sense. So it's your origin story with the Hulk where he's coming to save him. And what a great shot. So he gets him into the ditch. And yeah, there's an immediate transformation. And so he describes it. And even like the detail that Ellis gets into, like his skin went black and dry and cracked, and light shone on out of him, like all his meat was on fire. Just that word meat, it's like it really dips into the dread there. Yeah, and just that shot of the Hulk. So he finishes up, his story, and it's just despair. You are given not one glimmer of hope in this book. Like I said, it's very unapologetic, and it stays true to the dark. And so he runs into the Punisher. Like they even throw the Punisher in here. So that concludes issue 1. And he's like, death is everywhere. It's falling on us all. And he's wanting to find the answer before he goes. So definitely not for everyone. It's not heroic. It's a horror story dressed in superhero skin. It's very thematic. And it's just a bleak meditation, on failure, decay, and the fragility of hope. And that's true with life. But after I read this, I just contemplated on it and was just, it's one of those where you read it and you can't get it out of your head, instead of these awe-inspiring origin stories, we get grotesque tragedies. And just the whole journey of Sheldon, documenting what's going on, and it seems like the farther he gets, the truth becomes just meaningless. And the imagery, it's really grotesque, but it's like body horror. Like, it has a beauty on its own. Issue 2, I'm going to go ahead and push through and do an issue 2. It just feels like this is a review that had to be done. It's very powerful. The bleak meditation of it, it's just there. And it's like every panel felt like a fever dream, just soaked in despair. It's a very brutal deconstruction of the Marvel mythology. And just the whole, it's just a physiological, like, gut punch. There is a thin line between miracle and catastrophe. And sometimes you're just at the whims of the universe, and this is captured incredibly well. And I definitely would recommend it. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but hopefully the review gives you a little peek into it. Like, this was published in 1995, so it's just a twisted, cynical mirror of what could have happened. But I think exploring those things are important, even if it is dark. But issue 2 around the corner.